Ronald Bernard's United People Movement. Chapter 1. Ronald Bernard Improves the World. The United People Movement. The United People Movement has a website with lots of ideas on how to better the world. United People Foundation. epub 1. 7150 AAI Bergen. The Netherlands. Business registration NL 56595220. UNITEDPEOPLE-FOUNDATION.org. Declaration of Peace. The purpose of this Declaration of Peace is the liberation of all children, including our inner child, on this planet, so each human can survive and live in peace and harmony with himself or herself, each other, flora and fauna. Article 1. Coming into being. Having come into being, the unborn child has the right to live in a healthy, loving immediate environment. It is a duty of the child's parents to ensure this first and foremost, in partnership with society. Article 2. Birth. Humanity, in partnership with the child's parents, bears a responsibility to ensure that the child can be born in peace, joy, and safety, in healthy, loving living conditions. Article 3. Protection. The growing child is entitled to protection from any external factor which damages, or which could damage, the body, mind, conscience, soul or spirit directly or indirectly. Among these factors are political and religious human doctrines, war, abuse, including sexual abuse, racial doctrine, dualism, propaganda, and the like. Article 4. Sovereignty. From birth onwards, every child has the right to a healthy life in liberty. In recognition of free will, the sovereignty, equality, and inviolability of that life are always to be respected. Article 5. Development. The child's parents and/or carers, in partnership with humanity, will ensure that the child is developed lovingly and as well as possible, in accordance with the child's own pure interests and blueprint. New systems of education now allow us to know what makes a given child happy and what the child is good at. That is where the child's potential lies. Article 6. Adulthood. When turning 18 years old, the child acquires adult status, social responsibility, the vote in the cooperative collective, and an entitlement to paid work as befits his or her potential. Article 7. The basic right to life. The basic right to life entitles all children and adults to love, clean potable water, healthy food, footwear, properly protective clothing, housing, education, healthcare, and growth in consciousness. Article 8. A good stewardship of all life. As humans and society, it's our duty to live a good stewardship of all life, setting an example to our children, who are the future. The concept of a good stewardship of all life is based on two foundational documents, the New Declaration of Human Rights and the 12 Points of Change. Article 9. The right to hold a binding referendum. United People Movement, UPM, will be the cooperative voice for all its participants. By this means, UPM will be one of the entities determining what happens in each country. Where necessary, all inhabitants of a country will reorganize it by means of their right to hold a binding referendum. This will eliminate waste and will give society constructive energy. Article 10. Being the co-owner of basic facilities. As a cooperative enterprise, United People Movement, UPM, will gradually become an owner of education, healthcare, water and food provisions, green energy provision, infrastructure, banking, public transport, housing, including rental housing, and other basic facilities as desired. You become via UPM the co-owner of basic facilities. Article 11. A basic income from profit sharing. As a cooperative enterprise, United People Movement is of a social character. All certificate-holding members enjoy collective benefits and profit sharing. From the net profit obtained, each of them will accrue a basic income. The purchase of membership certificates will be easily affordable, so that everyone can take part. Article 12. Equality among people. Each United People Movement participant can invoke all the rights, liberties, and duties in the Declaration of Peace, without any distinction of any kind whatsoever, such as nationality, skin color, sex, language, religious, political or other convictions, origin, property, birth, or other status. 12 Points of Change. 1. The United People Movement as a cooperative and a voice of the people that, partly, determines what happens in a country. Through the right to a binding referendum, as in Switzerland, the citizens will again be the ones to decide what we do. This will eliminate waste and give constructive energy to our society. 2. The United People Movement and the community have supervision over, and give advice to, a dynamic government and cabinet of experts. This cabinet manages and leads the country in a professional manner so that its citizens receive optimal service. This will deliver society FEES as return on investment. 3. The United People Movement will be a cooperative enterprise of a social nature. All members have one vote and can enjoy the collective advantages that membership brings. The certificate holders build equity. The low threshold for investors means that many people can participate. 4. The United People Movement cooperative will, step by step, become the owner of health care, public transport, banking, food supply, education, green, energy, infrastructure and, rented, housing provisions. All certificate holders are part owners and have a say, with one vote. 5. The United People Movement cooperative will form a purchasing collective that will always negotiate the best quality and purchasing price, in whatever area of life, for its members. The purchasing may not be at the cost of any other people or other life forms, but rather must be for mutual benefit. 6. The United People Movement cooperative will provide all members with a conditional supplement to their basic income through the net profit of the enterprise. The tariffs will be determined at the annual general meeting. This will provide enormous savings on the cost of social benefits and the corresponding inspectorates. 7. The dynamic governing body will, under the supervision of the community, take strong and just action against all forms of unjust behavior such as abuse of social benefits, corruption, wrongdoing, criminal behavior, polluting, exploitation and other such violations in a given country. 8. The dynamic governing body will give every citizen a simple community contract to provide a framework of personal responsibility. Herein, the right to vote, ethics, rights and responsibilities of each citizen are laid out. Where needed, social organizations will help and support people to abide by the community contract. A good stewardship of all life is the central principle. 9. Through the binding referendum laid down in point 1, all major national, European and global decisions will be taken with approval by the citizens. Those deemed important are all decisions that have a direct effect on the quality of life of more than 33% of all citizens of a country. After the subject to be decided has been published, everybody can vote within 1 week, either by post or internet. 10. The dynamic governing body will form a multidisciplinary supervisory service. This service will unite and streamline all existing services, so that it can optimally serve honest people and other life forms, in the fields of compassion, order, justice, security, peace, harmony, abundance, and safety. In addition, it will yield extra FEES in return. 11. Bank of Joy will introduce the euro as a symbol of value besides the euro and other currencies. The euro bases its value on investments in raw materials, natural resources, just enterprise, and people. Examples include metals, gems, foodstuffs, hydrogen, solar power, hydroelectricity, free energy and innovative people. The euro protects the national capital, including working capital, and oversees its natural growth. The value system will work through our cooperative, internet, bank. 12. The United People Movement will strive for the maximum relief of burdens, including tax burdens, for everybody by abolishing unnecessary rules, inspectorates, and taxes. Income tax can be abolished and replaced by a 10% transaction tax. The reduction of tax burdens, the resulting reduction of costs and the 12 points of change will achieve a natural growth for all members of society. The new Declaration of Human Rights. Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of sister and brotherhood. Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this new Declaration of Human Rights, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, gender, language, understanding of the Creator of heaven and earth, God, political, religious or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a human being belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing or under any other limitation of sovereignty. Article 3. Everyone has the right to a life of dignity, liberty, and unabridged security for his or her as a human being. The right to life and to inviolability begins as soon as the human comes into being in the mother's womb. Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude, including debt slaves involved in a financial debt contract with interest charges. Slavery and the slave trade shall therefore be prohibited in all their forms. Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment, not even if these are carried out by order of government bodies, secret agencies, religious organizations, or powerful companies. Article 6. Everyone, wherever they are, has the right to be recognized as a human being for the law. Article 7. All are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this new Declaration of Human Rights and against any incitement to such discrimination. Article 8. Everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him or her by the Constitution or by law. Article 9. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile, not even if these are carried out by order of government bodies, the state, secret agencies, religious organizations, military personnel, or powerful companies. Article 10. Everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal, in the determination of his or her rights and obligations and of any criminal charge against him or her. Article 11. Everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty according to law in a public trial at which he or she has had all the guarantees necessary for his or her defense. No one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offense, under national or international law, at the time when it was committed. Nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was applicable at the time the penal offense was committed. Article 12. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his or her privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his or her honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Article 13. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his or her own, and to return to his or her country. Article 14. Everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. This right may not be invoked in the case of prosecutions genuinely arising from non-political crimes or from acts contrary to the purposes and principles of united people. Article 15. Everyone has the right to a nationality. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his or her nationality nor denied the right to change his or her nationality. Article 16. Men and women of the full age of 18 years or older, without any limitation due to race, nationality or understanding of the Creator of heaven and earth, God, political or religious preference, have the right to marry and to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage, and at its dissolution. Marriage shall be entered into only with the free and full consent of the intending spouses. The family is the natural and fundamental group unit of society and is entitled to protection by united people, society, and the state. Article 17. Everyone has the right to own property alone as well as in association with others. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his or her property, not even by government bodies, the state, banks, or tax authorities. Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, understanding of the Creator of heaven and earth, God, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his or her thinking, religion, or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others and in public or private, to manifest his or her thinking, conscience, understanding of the Creator of heaven and earth, God, religion, or belief in teaching, practice, worship and observance. All these forms of thinking, conscience, understanding of the Creator of heaven and earth, God, and religion are to be respected insofar as they are peaceable expressions which are of service to humanity and all the other life on earth. Those forms which do not respect in full the new Declaration of Human Rights are outlawed with immediate effect. Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. All forms of censorship are unlawful. Article 20. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. No one may be compelled to belong to an association. Article 21. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his or her country, directly or through freely chosen representatives. Everyone has the right to equal access to the cooperative public services in his or her country. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of the state, government, or any other steering body appointed by the people. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections which shall be by universal and equal suffrage and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. Article 22. Everyone, as a member of society, has the right to social security and is entitled to realization, through national effort and international cooperation and in accordance with the organization and resources of each state, of the economic, social, and cultural rights indispensable for his or her dignity and the free development of his or her personality. Article 23. Everyone has the right to work which, where available, shall match the knowledge and skill of the human being concerned, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and to protection against unemployment. Everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work. Everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration ensuring for him or herself and his or her family an existence worthy of human dignity, and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection. Everyone has the right to form and to join trade unions for the protection of his interests. Article 24. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay. Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of him or herself and of his or her family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his or her control. Motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. All children, whether born in or out of wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection. Consequently, it is unlawful for the state, a government body or a local authority to require a child's parents by law or regulation to have the child vaccinated either before or after birth, or to require the child to have vitamin K administered at birth. The parents of a child are under an obligation to research the consequences for the child, including in the long term, of vaccination. Article 26. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights, including these new human rights, and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of united people in support of peace. Parents have a prior right and responsibility to choose the kind of education and upbringing that shall be given to their children to allow them to attain their maximum development. Article 27. Everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. Everyone has the right to the protection of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic production of which he or she is the author. Article 28. Everyone is responsible for ensuring, and is entitled to, a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this new Declaration of Human Rights can be fully realized. Article 29. Everyone has duties to the community and to the united people, without which the free and full development of his or her personality is impossible. In the exercise of his or her rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by the cooperative collective by law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others and of meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in society. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of united people. The principle of a good stewardship of all life shall be decisive in their interpretation. Article 30. Nothing in this new Declaration of Human Rights may be interpreted as implying for any state, government body, secret agency, political, religious or military organization, powerful company, group, or human being any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth herein.